Hey guys, Rukshan here. Thanks for joining me for this video. Before I go into this topic, which is around how long the Uluru Statement from the Heart is, I want to play this video of Anthony Albanese talking about this in Parliament the other day, where he called people, Australians, conspiracy theorists if they believe it's longer than one page. And then I want to play you this other clip cut in between that of Professor Megan Davies, one of the architects of the Voice to Parliament, the Uluru Statement from the Heart, talking about how it's not just the one page, it's multiple pages. Now, before I play this video for the fact checkers watching there, I do note that Megan Davies, Professor Megan Davies, and she has put out a statement saying it's just one page. So keep that in mind. There has been a statement put out by people in the Yes side saying it's just one page, and we didn't really mean it exactly how we meant it when we said these things before. So let's play the video.
It is something that has been out there, like a whole lot of the QAnon theories. We have all sorts of conspiracy stuff out there, but this is a ripper. That is the Uluru Statement from the Heart on an A4 bit of paper. That is it.
So the Uluru Statement, many people don't know, is 18 pages long.
That is the Uluru Statement from the Heart on an A4 bit of paper. That is it.
It's not just the one-page invitation to the Australian people. It also includes what we call our story, which is an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history of Australia.
They put in an FOI, and what they got was a whole lot of minutes from meetings.
And it's unfortunately one of the parts of the Uluru Statement that is not often read and overlooked. So those 18 pages include our story, so our history of our people.
With a whole lot of verbal statements from whoever to whoever.
And also a few pages about on the reform. Why do we want a voice? What will a voice do?
Nothing exposes the falseness of the arguments being put by the No campaign than this conspiracy theory and nonsense.
So I urge everybody, if they do have the opportunity, to look at the Referendum Council report and read that whole document, which we call the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
That is the Uluru Statement from the Heart on an A4 bit of paper. That is it.
Yeah, so there is that video. In their own words, the Yes camp talking about the Uluru Statement from the Heart. And at that time, Megan Davies was saying, I believe, in my opinion, something different to what she's put out in her statements now. Now, what do we believe? Are they being intellectually dishonest now? Like, what is going on? Is the Prime Minister being dishonest? Is he misleading the Australian people? Because he's just, keeps holding out this one page and saying that's it. All this massive constitutional change that potentially is going to be happening in our country is all just on this one page here, and that's it. Now, this all came about after a Freedom of Information request made to the National Indigenous Australia Agency, and then it was reported on by Sky News. Peter Credlin reported on it, and Jacinta Price, who's from the Yes No campaign, also brought it up and sought clarification. And according to her, the clarification she received did confirm that it was the Uluru Statement from the Heart in this Freedom of Information request. Now, I've read this document, and there is meeting notes in there. There is all sorts of stuff in there. But once you get to a certain document, which I believe is document 14. Let me just go down to show you guys. It starts off with Uluru Statement from the Heart, and it's got that main summary statement that Anthony Albanese is holding up. But then it goes on, same document, document 14. Okay, it goes on, and it has a whole heap of other stuff. And this is what I believe Professor Megan Davies is referring to in that video. Their story, it all kind of matches up with what she's saying. The law, invasion, resistance. And this talks about things about, treaty, activism, land rights. I think it even mentions reparations. So it's a very thorough document in terms of the Uluru Statement and what it's about. Tells the truth of history, all sorts of reform. It's everything's there. Like, there's a lot of things in there, which is, I guess, is the totality of what makes up the main Uluru Statement from the Heart. But of course, we're being told just to focus on this one page, and that's it. And that's really because over the last couple of weeks, we've seen how Anthony Albanese doesn't want to engage in discussing anything to do with things like treaty, and the greater details involved in what passing this referendum to the yes vote would actually mean for the country. And I think there's a fear there to actually go into the detail that's actually in this thing, which on this document says Uluru Statement from the Heart. It's from the National Indigenous Australian Agency via Freedom of Information. And we heard before Professor Davies, in her own words, talking about this longer statement that expresses, what it says it does. And she even says right at the end,
Referendum Council report and read that whole document, which we call the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
Which we call the Uluru Statement from the Heart. Read that whole document, which we call Uluru Statement from the Heart. Now, I'm happy to say that people misspoke and maybe she did something like this, but there's other instances, other videos of her referring to the same things. Okay, now today, it might be inconvenient today with everything that's going on politically and how the polls are going to actually talk about all the details in greater detail, as people are asking for Albanese to do. So maybe now they want to change their story. I don't know. This is a statement that Megan Davies put out. The Uluru Statement from the Heart is 1 page, okay? It is 439 words. It's supported by other documents contained in the Referendum Council report that reflect the document, the many regional dialogues and constitutional consultation leading up to it. These have been public for 7 years. They are found on the Referendum Council website. These are the official documents. And there's a few other things in there, but that's the official statement that she put out for clarity. So just that side's covered as well. Again, I want you to listen to what she says here, so we're not mincing words.
So I urge everybody, if they do have the opportunity, to look at the Referendum Council report and read that whole document, which we call the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
That is...
Okay, so she does mention there the Referendum Council report, and then to read that whole document, which we call the Uluru Statement from the Heart. And then previously in her statement, she says, this is what she says.
Don't know, is 18.
That is it.
So the Uluru Statement, many people don't know, is 18 pages long.
That is the Uluru Statement from the Heart on an A4 bit of paper. That is it.
It's not just the one-page invitation to the Australian people. It also includes what we call our story, which is an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history of Australia.
Okay, so it's not just the 1 page. It also includes all this other stuff, which is, this is the 1 page that Albanese holds up, and this is the other stuff that she's talking about, our story. Okay, so she is speaking about it as more than just 1 page. She specifically says that. That is a language that she is using. This is a professor. This is someone who's intimately involved in crafting this document. And for her today to be walking those statements back that she made in video, and there's multiple instances of her making those statements, and now she is saying that actually it's just 1 page. Uluru Statement from the Heart is just 1 page. I mean, I don't want to laugh about this, but it is laughable that there's so much, in my opinion, again, it appears that there's dishonesty in some of the way that these statements are being crafted today. I don't understand for what reason they're being like this, because she was very proud before to say that this is actually more than just 1 page, right? It's more than just that invitation. It's this many pages long, and everyone should read it to understand what the actual Uluru Statement from the Heart is. And today, they're saying it's just 1 page. The Indigenous Australian Agency has also come out and said that they never told Jacinta Price that this was the Uluru Statement from the Heart, even though Jacinta Price confirms that she has had that communication with them. Now they're backtracking on that as well. If you're watching this as a member of the public, okay, we have these two sides who want you to vote either yes or no, and they're putting out conflicting statements. What I want you to remember is, at the end of the day, if you want to judge either side, you got to listen to what they say themselves. And for me, from hearing all of the things that I've heard, when I listen to Anthony Albanese and Professor Megan Davies and what they're saying, it's very clear that at one point, particularly Megan Davies, had her story straight, and she was very confident in the way that she described what the Uluru Statement from the Heart is. Today, she may have changed her mind to back the Prime Minister, to go along with that version. But there was a time in video where she is recorded saying it this way. And I'm going to play that video once more to finish up. If you're enjoying my content, you can follow along on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, and Odyssey at The Real Rukshan. Let's end it off with this video.
It is something that has been out there, like a whole lot of the QAnon theories. We have all sorts of conspiracy stuff out there, but this is a ripper. That is the Uluru Statement from the heart on an A4 bit of paper. That is it.
So the Uluru Statement, many people don't know, is 18 pages long.
That is the Uluru Statement from the heart on an A4 bit of paper. That is it.
It's not just the one-page invitation to the Australian people, it also includes what we call our story, which is an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history of Australia.
They put in an FOI, and what they got was a whole lot of minutes from meetings.
And it's unfortunately one of the parts of the Uluru Statement that is not often read and overlooked. So those 18 pages include our story, so our history of our people.
With a whole lot of verbal statements from whoever to whoever.
And also a few pages about on the reform. Why do we want a voice? What will a voice do?
Nothing exposes the falseness of the arguments being put by the No campaign than this conspiracy theory and nonsense.
So I urge everybody, if they do have the opportunity, to look at the Referendum Council report and read that whole document, which we call the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
They're going to call you a conspiracy theorist. They're going to call you QAnon. They're going to say all these things. You've heard it from their own voices. The fact checkers are going to come out and fact check on their side. All of that is a foregone conclusion. But remember, you're hearing it from their own words. Believe it when they tell you. All right, guys. See you next time.